Hello everybody, what's up and welcome back to DapeachTV. This is Motivation Mondays episode 6, and if you are new here, this is a series that I do a streamcast live on Twitch where every week I interview different streamers from different backgrounds, different categories of streams, and maybe even different creators and maybe some different types of people in the future. So if you are new here, if this is your first time seeing this, today is episode 6, and what I do is we go into, the background, the life, the behind the scenes. We talk about the story, the journey, the successes, the struggles, and everything in between about the streamer that we have, and just to try to get some inspiration, some education, and some motivation for all of you guys out there looking to grow your streams, or maybe you want to become a content creator in the future. And here we are to kind of host this for you guys to chat a little bit and learn. And there is even a dedicated Q&A session at the end of the call. So if you guys are watching this for the first time on YouTube, I suggest coming over to Twitch, at least following the channel over on Twitch, so you're notified next time we go live, which is Monday nights for Motivation Mondays anyways. And you can come in here and ask your own questions and get them answered by myself or the guest I might have, which tonight is Simbaquil, who I'm very, very excited to have here and chat with. And I mean, let's get into it. By the way, if you're on YouTube, all of the links will be down below in the description. So please go and give some love and follow Simbaquil and check out her next stream. Welcome to Motivation Mondays. I'm happy to have you, Sim. How are you?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here. That was so professional. I felt like I was watching a news anchor on TV go live. It was perfect.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Smooth.
Thank you. Awesome. Okay, good to know. Good to know. So I kind of watch myself back while I'm looking in the camera, so very cool. Great. So I mean, you were streaming today, so thank you for coming out here. I mean, for streaming in the same day and coming out and doing, it's pretty much like a second stream. I appreciate the time.
Yeah, of course. I don't mind it at all. It's all cool. Good for me.
Yeah. How was your stream today? What were you were streaming Valorant mostly?
Yeah, we played some Valorant today. I just goof off and spike rush and try to talk to people and get some. I mean, you saw some of the weird people I get in my games.
Oh, yeah.
Just have a lot of fun doing it.
That's the fun of it, right?
Absolutely.
So, I mean, tell us a little bit about your stream and what you do. I mean, it'll come off a little bit more naturally from you for sure. But do you only stream Valorant or what? Tell us about your stream.
So I originally started streaming. I started as a Sea of Thieves streamer, not exclusively. I kind of did a little bit of everything, but mostly Sea of Thieves. Okay. I haven't played that in a while, but now I'm playing Valorant. Obviously, I play Apex sometimes. Now the new Pokemon is out. We finally have a Pokemon game to play again.
Yes, nice.
So I've been playing a ton of Pokemon, and
it's who's your starter?
Super fun. Sprigatito, and I have an Everstone on him.
Nice.
She is staying a small little cat. I'm not ready to let go.
Yeah, I know. I made the mistake, and then I had to reload a whole hour's worth of save because I couldn't.
You couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it. Cool, awesome. And so, do you have a certain structure where you play Pokemons on Monday and Valorant on Wednesdays type of thing? How do you normally go about your stream since you do some different games?
Yeah, so I found the best way to do it is I have a general plan because I tend to change up what I want to do a lot. So our schedule right now, our traditional schedule is Monday Fun Day. So we're just playing kind of whatever, I kind of decide if we have a crew get together for Played Up or some Minecraft,
Oh, cool.
That's kind of the day. Wednesday is FPS night. So every Wednesday we're playing Valorant or Apex. And then Saturdays is chill outer days.
Okay.
So we just we pick something to do. It might be a longer form game. It might be Valorant again. It's kind of just whatever we're feeling for the Saturday vibe, but it's very chill and we're I call it lo-fi streams you can study to.
Yeah.
So cool. We're just chilling out, having a
nice.
good time.
I love that. Perfect for the weekend. The chill out vibes. I love that.
Oh, absolutely.
So how long have you been a viewer on Twitch? I like asking this question because it's interesting to know. Sometimes people just learn about Twitch and then the next day they're a Twitch streamer, and that blows my mind. But I know that you started your stream at the beginning of this year, right?
Yeah, I started really, my first stream was in September of this last year.
Okay.
And so it's been over a year. We had our affiliate stream, which is really cool. But as of being on Twitch, I knew about Twitch, but I was never a Twitch viewer. I was never like definitely not a chatter if I was in a Twitch stream. I was definitely a hardcore lurker. I kind of just sat and like watched or listened to it, and I watched only a couple of people that I knew from YouTube.
Okay.
And
like
then I decided I wanted
bigger creators.
Yeah, bigger creators. Like Point Crow is someone I watched all the time. Small Ant, his speed runs. RT Game, because I watch everything he does. So cool. I wasn't a big Twitch like person until I started streaming.
Okay, but you knew about it. You knew that these guys were streaming on it.
Yeah, I was like in the gaming culture. My boyfriend in college would stream on Twitch just for me, like when I wanted to watch like someone play games. So like that's like my only association was like very small, like bits and pieces here and there. Definitely not into the culture of it. Okay,
gotcha. That's cool. That's before Discord came around, I guess, streaming on Twitch for friends and family.
Exactly.
That's funny. That's cool. That's the first time I actually heard that. I don't think I've ever met anyone that just streamed for for a friend or something like that. Just to let me show you my screen. Let's go on Twitch.
Exactly.
That's
fun.
Cool. So what made you get into streaming? Like, if you weren't really part of that Twitch culture and like too heavily, what sparked that interest to start streaming?
So I've always kind of been, I wouldn't call it a theatrical person. I never did like theater. I was very shy, but I was kind of in performing arts. I did like marching band and color guard, dance. Like that was kind of my jam. And I've always liked talking to people. And my friend and I, when we were 12, decided we wanted to be YouTubers because that's when all the like people were getting big, just vlogging and sitting there for doing absolutely nothing but like talking about their day or showing off like their backpack or something. We're like, we're gonna do that. So I've always had an interest in it. Yeah, exactly. Like exactly like that. Just I thought it was so fun, but I never went through with it because I never had a large digital footprint. I had like accounts for friends and family, but never posted on them a lot. But then I was bored. I wanted to make friends, and I just thought it sounded like it would be really fun to try out and do. Because like I said, I'm super shy, like internally, and I'm like, oh, but it would be kind of fun to kind of do it. And then I just decided to try it out and see if it would be fun.
Oh, that's cool. And were there any like streamers around the time that you started streaming that you were like looking more closely at? Like, was there something, I don't know, specific that like made you think to do it, or?
I was watching a lot of Point Crow streams. Like whenever I would go to the gym, like he would be live like at the same time. So I could just pull it up and kind of have it sitting there. And it was more interactive. So I felt like I was like, a little bit more into it. And RT Game as well. I always watched his streams when he would do certain games. I'm like, man, this is actually kind of fun. Like they're talking to like a chat. They're like having people who are just kind of watching and vibing out. And I was just like, that seems like a lot of fun. Like that instead of YouTube where I'd have to edit things, like I could just like go on and be live and people would watch it then.
Yeah, absolutely. I find it's a completely different experience, like I actually used to make YouTube videos. I did try to do some vlogs and stuff, and there's some other things that I'll probably never share what I did. I'll probably never show the videos.
They won't see the light of day. I have some videos too. I'm like, nope, not.
yeah, exactly. I think we all do the, I mean, the content that we make a while ago, it has to be cringe. That kind of content, if it's not cringe, then you're not growing. If you don't look back at content and say that was cringe, then it's probably cringe now.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but anyways, I felt it was completely different from streaming on Twitch to filming a video, where every word that you're trying to say and record is supposed to be like perfect or whatever it is, whereas when it's live, it's just like, yeah, we're just hanging out, it's
like,
just,
we're here, you're either here, you're not here.
Yeah,
so you can get it either way.
Yeah, plus the interaction, of course, being able to chat with people. Cool. And so what was the first What was the first thing you streamed? Was it a game? Do you remember?
Yeah, I think the first thing I streamed, I think my first stream was we were either playing Sea of Thieves or I was playing Phoenix Wright because I was like, I want to do something I'm comfortable with, that I know. So I think it might have been Phoenix Wright. I just was like gonna play over some of the games,
Okay.
and just kind of read through it, and I
Yeah,
had
yeah.
something I could like. I knew what was gonna happen, so I like knew how to like get through it, and it
Sure,
was
sure.
it was fun.
Cool. And did you
It's
have
fun.
any like friends or like, I don't know, IRL friends that you told about the stream?
Yeah, well, my mom was there. Uh,
Nice. I love that.
Mom's mom my mom
Mom
loves
support.
my mom loves the Twitch streams.
Nice.
But I had put it on like my Instagram, like my personal one. I kept it kind of small, you know. I think I made like an Instagram. That was the first thing I made. I made a separate Instagram.
Okay.
And let some friends know. And then my partner Sean, he has some friends who like we were starting to game with. Once I got more into gaming and gaming online with friends, they came and watched and were like my first mods and
Oh, nice.
supporters. Yeah, it was nice.
That's
It took a
cool.
lot of like the tension away
Yeah,
having
yeah.
people there.
Definitely. Yeah, for sure. It's not easy to stream to 0 viewers, for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely not. I've been
You
there
know.
too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's important too, and it's something that I talk about often enough. Is I think it's important for people to stream to 0 viewers, even for whatever period of time it is. I think it helps to kind of remember like that we started at
Hmm.
0 at one point, and that everybody
Oh
starts at
yeah.
0. For the most part. And if ever there's like a dip in the numbers for whatever reason, it's like, well, I'm not at 0,
Yeah.
and you kind of remember how it was back then.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah, but I wanted to ask you because you said that you just like as you get more into gaming, were you a gamer before like you were into like watching Point Crow and stuff on YouTube? Were you always a gamer or?
Yeah, so I grew up with video games. Like my dad, we had our Xbox, we had PlayStations growing up. We kind of grew up with it. A lot more of the games I played though were like I had my Game Boy, my
Nice.
Nintendo DS when it came out, and I was super excited. I was definitely more of like a single player, Pokemon.
Yeah. Nice.
Like whatever you can kind of get on the Nintendo DS, like that was all
Tetris.
I played. Animal Crossing all the time. Love my
Yeah,
Animal
nice.
Crossing GameCube game. It was the
Oh
best
my
thing in the
god.
world. So good.
And do you play the
Um,
new Animal Crossing now?
I used to, but I stopped because it just got too overwhelming. There were weeds everywhere, and I kind of ran out of. I didn't want to decorate anymore. I was like, okay, this is too much for my brain. But I sunk about like 300 hours in a
Oh
month,
my
so I
god.
think I just overkilled myself when it
Oh
came
yeah.
out because I was too excited.
Yeah, and that's a completely different style of game than to what you're playing now, which is Valorant and Apex and stuff, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't play any like FPS game. I mean, like Halo with my brother. We never had like an online account though, so I never got the experience of like playing online with other people,
Yeah,
which was
yeah.
disappointing. But I
I
played, we
mean,
played like together.
sure,
But
yeah.
I just started picking up like more of this like social gaming now, which is really fun.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe it's a good thing that you didn't experience all the internet craziness as a kid,
Honestly,
you
I
know?
kind of thankful.
You
I don't know
know?
how that would have gone over being like, let alone a 12-year-old girl in some Call of
Oh
Duty
man.
lobby.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
Absolutely
I was
not.
thinking. The COD lobby's going wild.
Like, I'm good off that experience.
Oh man. So what was one of the main childhood games that you mained or that you loved the most?
Pokemon Emerald. I had that
Yeah.
on my Game Boy, and it is still one of my favorite games. And
Nice.
then the original Mystery Dungeon game as well.
I never heard of it.
It's a Pokemon like branch off game, but it's a
Okay.
dungeon crawler type deal, and you turn into a Pokemon. You have to solve a whole like mystery about yourself. Like
What?
each
That's
game,
cool.
they're so fun. Like if you ever get the chance, you definitely should play them. You
I
can
never
get
heard of that.
them. Yeah, they're so
Cool.
fun. Love those games.
I will check it out. That's cool. What's one game that if you had to play that one game forever, what would it be?
Oh, that's a great question.
If you had to stream it,
Um,
let's stick to streaming. If you
if
had
I
to
had to
stream
pick to
one game
stream it,
forever, yeah, what would it be?
If I'm streaming it, I'm probably Valorant. I have so much
Yeah,
fun playing. I really do. Valorant can be toxic at times, but I
true.
find like I don't really see a lot of toxic people. Like I think like I bring a good enough attitude that people just won't be mean to me
Nice. Good for
most of
you.
the time, so I can enjoy the game. But when they do,
Yeah.
like I match their energy, so I just weird back to them, and then they
Yeah.
usually, it just makes it funny for me. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it, because yeah, like you said, it could be. I think any game with voice chat, it could get a little bit heated and toxic,
Yeah, it
for sure.
definitely can. I mean, you're letting people on the internet talk to each other without any sort of face-to-face kind of
Yeah,
interaction. You know they wouldn't say that like if
yeah.
they were posted up, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, there's almost barely any consequences, right? Like, yeah, you could
You'll get
report
a
them,
ban.
maybe if it goes through, right? So
Mhm.
it's tough. But one thing I did want to say is like the Valorant and the League of Legends. I mean, League of Legends has been, quite toxic, but I've been seeing a lot more like diversity of people
Mhm.
playing video games now, and it's like such a nice thing to see. And like when I'm playing Valorant and like guys are just yelling at the girls being like, what are you doing playing video games and on Valorant, I'm like, dude, like finally we get all kinds of people playing. We got more gamers coming, we got girls coming in. Like, why are you guys complaining that girls are playing video games, so I think it's a nice thing, and like I honestly have to give a shout out to Riot, because League of Legends and Valorant are developed by Riot, and they're just doing, I find, a wonderful job of like being very inclusive. Like there's so many characters and agents that are
Mhm.
different genders and things like that. And anyway, I love it. I love to see that. It's I think it's a great thing for gaming, and streaming too, for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's nice because I think, especially as like more girls and women like get into games, because I think a lot of the like reason why there's more coming in is because now no one says it's a weird thing to do.
Yeah.
I think when like we were younger and like gaming and like video games were first coming into like fruition and popular culture, it was very much not like a girls thing, especially
Yeah.
because they tended to be violent.
Right.
But now I think like it's nice, and I think a lot more people are just being nice, and they're calling out people being mean, because it's like, what's the point? Like, we're
Yeah.
all just here like to play a game. Like, what's the point of being mean? And it's actually
Yeah.
been like so much more welcoming. I was super scared to start playing games like that because I
Yeah.
thought I'd get flamed all the time, but most people are actually really nice.
But I think it's good. I think it's good, the kind of energy that you bring. I think that's what kind of sets the tone, and helps it in those lobbies. So if you guys need some help with that, you can go and check out Simba's streams and see how she handles.
Toxic positivity works every time.
Oh yeah. Oh boy. Cool. That's awesome. So I mean, let's talk more about like the streaming journey and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For you, like what were your goals with streaming? Were they just always to be this is fun and this could be fun and I can, make some friends and just kind of do it as a hobby? Or were you looking to go more into like the content creation, and like you said, like your childhood dream that totally resulted to become a YouTuber and a vlogger? Did you want to go that path? Like what was the thinking when you started?
So I started mainly just like I was feeling like a kind of lull in my confidence, where I was like, I don't know what, like I don't have anything like hobbies or anything to do, and it kind of just came as like something that could be like, yeah, that'd be really cool, and I was like, I got the encouragement to do it. And so it started, and like it's still, I mean, it still continues for me. Like as soon as I stop having fun, like I'm gonna stop streaming, because like there's no point to it if I'm not enjoying it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until like I like got more into it and met more streamers, like through TikTok and through Instagram, and just through surfing Twitch more and more. I think now it's like, oh, like there's a lot of different opportunities you can take, even for being like a small creator, and someone like, like I don't, who's me, I'm here. Like I'm not, Pokimane, but there's still a
Yeah,
lot of opportunities, and it's really cool to kind of like go down
absolutely.
that path and like learn what you
Yeah.
can do with it.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, even now with like the power of TikTok and like YouTube Shorts and things like that, and Instagram, and all the brands finally are coming over. I mean, not finally, like, I mean, maybe it's been a year or two or three that these brands have been starting to come over and create these social media accounts and start understanding the value of this type of content, right? So
Mhm.
you don't even need a single follower to be a content creator and to even make money working with brands. I mean, they themselves are looking to put content on their own platforms. So you could technically have 0 followers, 100 followers, and just be someone, have a presence on the internet and make some videos to show what kind of quality you are. And then you could be working already with brands and making content for them, and you're paid,
Yeah,
so it could be,
absolutely.
there's so much opportunity, and you don't need to be Pokimane to to make it happen, which is really good to see.
Yeah, it's nice.
Absolutely. What were you gonna say?
I mean, I wasn't gonna say anything, but I guess I could
Okay.
say,
I thought you were gonna say
like,
something special.
no, it's okay. I guess I could say, that with, like those opening opportunities again, like, yeah, like I think more and more brands are starting to realize you could get someone who has like a giant reach, but you can also target small communities that if this person says it, you can get guaranteed like, sales from that because
Sure.
people, feel a connection with you through social media. And like if you have, people and you have personal connections, it's like more of a kind of a
Yeah.
one-on-one deal rather than just like kind of a spokesperson who you may or
Yeah.
may not know.
Yeah, absolutely. And like when they're bigger, just like a celebrity, when they're doing, I don't know, hair products or shoes,
Hmm.
it's like, okay, he's paid for it. They're paid for it. Yeah, okay. What's her name? Aniston there with the hair commercials, and it's like,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, obviously Jennifer Aniston's getting paid to do these deals. Does she actually endorse this product? We don't
Does
know,
she even use Garnier? Like, I
Yeah.
doubt it. She's never touched it before.
You know what I mean? So I think, yeah, that's like, that definitely makes sense, right? And when you have a smaller community, those smaller communities too are more niche down, right? So like
Mhm.
example, like I don't know, like an art streamer, right? That does a lot of art and drawing and stuff like that. I mean, if they work with brands that sell art supplies, I mean, that makes way more sense to go into this smaller community and sell to these guys, because the people that are watching this are probably artists themselves, right?
Mhm.
And them, they are
Absolutely.
looking for these types of products, right? Whereas when you have like a big spokesperson, you're going to type in chat, hey, what do you think about this product? The chat's already gone. There's no way the
Yeah,
streamer will even
exactly.
see it, or the creator, right? So like when it's a one-on-one conversation, we can actually ask about products and things like that. I think that's a new way. I think a lot of companies are going towards the smaller creators too, which is a huge advantage, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Are you currently sponsored or affiliated with any brands at this time?
Not currently.
Yeah,
We're always looking though, so
absolutely.
put my little
Who would be a dream partner of yours to work with?
I've always said, and it's kind of a joke, but it's also kind of not, Capri Suns.
Really?
If I could work with Capri Suns, because I do not know how many people I have like inadvertently gotten to buy Capri
No
Suns
way.
because just by I drink them all the time. They're like one of my favorite like things to get just to have
I
as
love
like
that.
a little treat, a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
snack. I don't have to pour it into a cup or clean anything. It's just a Capri Sun,
True,
and I've
true.
gotten so many people to buy them, and I'm like, I should at this point just get my Capri Sun sponsorship.
Yeah, seriously. Oh my God, I love that. I haven't had one of those in years, man. In years and years.
They're
That's a
so
great stream
good.
drink too.
They
Good
really are.
call.
I mean, you can have a pack of them and they stay pretty cold. I mean, it's just juice, like you don't have
Yeah,
to
true.
refrigerate them or anything. That's nice. Perfect snack.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's true. All right, we got to start doing, the Capri Sun of the day, show off,
Oh
show us the
yeah,
packaging, the flavor, do the review of it.
oh yeah, like that. Post some like that one guy who does the fast food reviews. I'll wear like a suit and tie and like
Yeah, sure.
review
Why
my
not?
Capri Suns. It's
Then you post it
great.
on Twitter, and then hashtag sponsored,
It
make it
works
happen.
exactly like that.
Exactly, exactly. Oh man. Um, I want to know, do you have like a pre-stream routine? Is there something that you do for your stream to get yourself kind of warmed up, geared up before you get to streaming? Get your Capri Sun, of
Nothing
course, is number
specific. I
one.
mean, yeah, I usually like I have to have snacks, so I usually have
Yeah.
like a whole like. I mean, I cleaned my desk off luckily, but I have like my dinner right in front of me. I have, I'll have like gummy snacks and a couple drinks lined up. So like, I like to get everything like in its place and ready to go. And I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, like I can sit here because usually I usually just stream like straight through. Like it to me, it's like as if I was sitting and playing like a game session, where I just keep going. And so
Yeah.
as long as I have like my creature comforts around me, my food, my drinks, my blanket, like I'm good to go. And I'm like, all right, we're ready to go.
Nice. Get the
Pull it
cozy
in.
vibes ready to go,
Yeah,
and you're
get all
good.
relaxed, wind down.
Cool. I love that. Yeah, you got to be cozy when you're streaming. A lot of people, I don't know what this thing is, but I keep coming across streamers in California. They all have blankets while they're streaming. Every single, I'm in
Someone said
Canada. I
this
don't
to
have a
me.
blanket. What is this thing? It's been at least 4 or 5 streamers I see California blanket. Isn't it like 100 degrees down there?
I don't know. I mean, it's pretty cold in my house right now. We don't have heating, so like
Okay.
I usually keep a blanket like but I even have one during the summer, so I really don't have an excuse. I just
Oh my
something about it
gosh.
maybe I just guess I just like to sit with a blanket. It might be a Californian thing because every Californian I know
Yeah.
owns
What
like
is
8
this?
blankets minimum and buys one like every holiday occasion for no reason. So
Oh my
like
god.
we just might
Okay.
be weirdos.
I mean, maybe. I'm in Canada. It snows here like crazy, and there's no blankets in sight. I don't know.
So
Maybe we're
weird.
used to
I
it.
have like I have too many blankets. I have 2 on my bed, 3 on my bed, and then
Oh my
2
gosh.
under my bed. They're everywhere.
Well, you gotta keep warm, I guess, California. Who knows?
Bundle up.
Yeah. So I mean, let's dig into your stream a little bit. Is your like what are some of the factors that you would say that have contributed to your success so far on Twitch? Like what are some of the strengths that you have as a person outside of streaming that you felt has really helped you develop, your stream and your brand and just your community?
Yeah, so well, when I was in college, I mean, I was a student mentor. I was really involved. I did like all the campus leadership. I did some student advising. I used to do orientation. So I've always been a people person. It's something like I kind of grew into because I definitely wasn't when I was in high school. I was very like, don't talk to me, I'm
Oh
good.
yeah.
But
Okay.
I kind of grew into like I really liked interacting with people. And I had
Nice.
to learn really quickly how to make connections. I had to remember a group of 15 people's name for 2 days, like, and I had to
Yeah.
learn it because, I'm the example. I'm the person who's supposed to like care that they're there. And I think
Sure.
that translates into streaming in a way because especially being smaller, you have people who stop by. If they come in and say hello, you kind of have to remember people. You have to be quick and
Yeah.
like be able to make that like spark and that connection.
True.
Um, and I think that like is one of those things. I'm a good public speaker and like I'm good at making connections, and that's probably the strongest thing I bring into streaming and how my streams go.
Yeah, that's cool. I didn't know that. Um, and I know you have a TikTok that's doing very well. You have almost 1,000 followers on Twitch, by the way. So everybody, please go and give a follow to Simba.
I'm very
Let's
close. It's crazy.
celebrate 1K very soon. And is it over? It's over 3,000 on TikTok.
Yeah, hit over
Um,
3,000. I
nice,
think last
congrats.
month, which is yeah. I was like, oh man, that's kind of crazy.
That's huge. And so I know that when we were talking, you said that you build a lot of connections through TikTok. I mean, so tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so TikTok, I never had a TikTok account before I started streaming and before I found out you could like that's how you can get people to your stream. I found it in a Reddit thread on like the Twitch Reddit that like this is like the new meta. This is like you want people to be there. Like this is how you should get it done.
Right.
I was like, I don't like TikTok. I'm not into like all of that. And I
Yeah,
thought,
yeah.
okay, like I'll try it out. I'll make one. And then I just absolutely got sucked in. I do love TikTok as an app. I think it's very fun. And I think at first I started I was very deep into Twitch talk, so like I got to see what other people were doing, but then I started to branch out into like my communities and my like where my niche lies, not just in being a streamer, but like
Right.
I like Marvel and I like Star Wars and I like Pokemon, and making this entire like, it's just it's my page. Like
Sure.
if
Yeah.
you like it, you do. If you don't, you don't. It's my page and myself. And so when people comment, like I, am able to make those quick replies. And I try to really get to know people who follow and like comment on my stuff and like have conversations with people. And I
Yeah.
think
Nice.
that's like the biggest translation from TikTok to Twitch is like not only like getting followers, but making one-on-one connections with people.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. And is TikTok your main source of discoverability that you find so far?
I think so. It's definitely the main, like if I kind of polled people, it's either from TikTok or from meeting other people on Twitch, like the communities I'm active in on Twitch, and like people I've met through other creators, and have become
Okay.
friends with hanging out in Discord. So it's definitely Discord and TikTok are like the primary kind of
Okay.
areas, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And but I think that's super important. I think that there's some creators and I mean, some creators I know and some creators I don't know that I kind of take a look at their account and I see that they're not really engaging with the people that are coming to their TikToks or that are commenting and stuff like that. And I kind of always say, and it's good to hear, from you too, that that's what you're seeing, because that's what I found as well on my own TikTok. And I had the same experience, by the way, where I was like, I do not want to use this app. What is TikTok?
Yeah.
My little brother was using it when he was like, I don't know, 15. I mean, he's
I
like
thought people
20 now,
actually just danced on it, or I
Yeah,
like didn't know what it was.
yeah. And now, oh my God, it's a whole, it's part of everybody's life now. It's a beautiful thing.
It's really
But
cool.
yeah, but like the people that are in your TikTok, like we know that the discoverability on Twitch is low, right? I don't want to say it's zero, and I know that everybody always hates on the discoverability of Twitch, but I do
Mhm.
gotta say, I don't think that like that's really the case anymore, unless it's just me. But I've been seeing in my streams, I don't know if you've seen this, let me know. Like people come into the stream and they're brand new, they'll follow or they'll just say hi for the first time, and I'll say, hey, how did you come across the stream? Let's say you were on my recommended. Right.
Yeah.
Does that
Mhm.
happen to you? So it's
No,
like,
that's my same experience, yeah.
yeah. So I'm like, okay, maybe Twitch doesn't have zero discoverability after all, and that happened last week when I was playing Pokemon, which everybody was playing Pokemon last week. So how am I still on somebody's recommended when I'm playing a super saturated, heavy game, and I'm probably at who knows where I'm at in the category, but if I'm recommended to people, that means there is some discoverability. So I think that Twitch is making improvements. I do see different categories now on the front page, like I saw it on my phone where it says like other streamers playing these types of games or similar
Mhm.
to these types of creators, or if you watch this person, maybe you'll like this person, or small, what do they call them? Small communities, or for
Yeah.
smaller communities, something like
Mhm.
that category name. So I think that Twitch is making an effort, right? But absolutely, things like TikTok and YouTube is where it's at, right? To develop relationships and meet new people, right? I think that that's what people might be missing out on, is like, don't just post and go. Like when people are commenting, that's somebody's there, they're there to say hi to you, right? So kind of engage in a conversation, say hi. And it seems like even with you, it's working to translate over to community members, right?
Yeah, I think it's because like the thing for smaller creators that we have to make community. Like that's the number one way people grow at the
Yeah.
moment on Twitch if they're not making content, on YouTube and they're getting a really heavy presence there. It's like you have to be able to kind of make people feel like there's a reason, like it's you at the like end of the day. Like you have to have something and you have to
Yeah.
be able to make that connection and be able to have conversations, because if they don't feel like you want to talk to them or that you're interested in them at all, it's if your content isn't there, then they're not going to stick around. If your
Yeah.
also personality isn't there either,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I mean, there's a difference between like a video going viral, right? Like if there's
Mhm.
10,000 comments and you're not getting to every single one, like it's okay, Like
Yeah, yeah,
you can
definitely.
forgive yourself, and I think the commenters will also say, okay, the person doesn't have all the time in the world to respond to every single comment, right? But a typical video, that's maybe 100 views, a couple hundred views, or a couple thousand views. I mean, that's where the community lies, right? And we gotta develop those relationships, right, and those friendships.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if you're, like I said, I kind of branched out. Like, I don't make too many TikToks related to Twitch. Like, I'll, tag Twitch things for like clips and other videos if they're relevant to let people, get it on some other Twitch streamers pages. But I found
Sure.
that if you're too in depth and just only Twitch content, like that's also like a missed opportunity to um capitalize on people who they may have never heard of Twitch, but
Right.
if they heard of you and they're like, oh, well, like you do this thing and I like your videos, whatever they might be about, like I said, I make Pokemon videos, I make Valorant videos, kind of like a weird, just eclectic bunch. If they know that, like, oh, well, she is also on Twitch, like whatever this is, then I can also see that, like, I can go there as well.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And get more of that content.
Yeah, because if they're not on, they're not gonna get Twitch streamer memes like on their page. They're not
Right.
gonna
Yeah,
like get it,
exactly.
and if they do, it's gonna go away pretty quickly. Like they're
Yeah.
not gonna know, like, oh, like when a raid happens, you're
Yeah.
missing out on a whole other potential audience as well.
Yeah, it's true. And I do notice that I do see some Twitch streamers making content related to Twitch streaming. And I think that if it's related to like being a gamer, because you're a gamer
Hmm.
streamer, for example, I think that can go over well and translate because, obviously if you're playing games, you're looking for building a gaming
Yeah,
community. So obviously
absolutely.
everyone
Yeah.
can relate. But yeah, the streaming stuff doesn't really relate to non-streamers, right? So yeah, it's a great way to make streamer friends, but maybe not build a gaming community or just a community around your streams, right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, that makes sense. And was there anything that like, have you ever gotten a video that like really went viral, like had a lot of crazy views or?
I've had a few get up there, but the one that was the most viral was this is the only way I can explain it, and I don't know if it's gonna sound terrible, but it's about Uncle Iroh being a war criminal. And it got over 300,000 views. I mean, it still gets views. It's like it's like a silly Avatar: The Last Airbender thing with some audio that I just thought was funny, and that was like my most successful blow up video.
Nice.
It was. I made
And
it in like 2 seconds after, and then that's when I figured out. I'm
oh
like,
my
you know
god.
what? Like, it clicked in my brain. I'm like, I can't try to make good content.
Yeah.
I just have to be silly, and then
Well, you gotta be
that's what
yourself,
worked.
that was you just
Yeah.
being like, this is gonna be funny, I find it funny, or this is gonna be a great idea, and you just do it. And I hear that all the time, and it happens to me too, where when you put so much hours, I even saw somebody tweet it this weekend. They said, I'm about to go sit in my room and edit a video for hours for it to do not as good as the videos I spend 30 seconds on. It's like this
Yep.
weird thing that you just put almost no effort, and because it's more, I don't know, maybe it's more natural, or there's something more authentic about it, something more just like off the cuff, more fun and silly. And TikTok is primarily more fun and silly
Fun and
and
silly,
you
yeah.
know
Like you either have those videos that go viral that are just random, like you took a weird video of your neighbor that fell and it gets like millions of
yeah,
views, or it's like helpful information, or just someone
right,
just talking. Like you'll see like some of the like big influencers on TikTok just talk and
yeah,
like talk about whatever they want and about
true.
themselves. They don't have like anything else but that. But everyone is like, "Oh, I'm eating it up. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
it."
Oh yeah, for sure. If it's especially if it's a big content creator or celebrity, for sure,
Oh yeah.
absolutely. That's too funny. So, and did that video, did that translate into like a lot of followers for you? I mean, surely on TikTok that helped.
Yeah, it did on TikTok. Like it kind of shot up my views in that, and I think like because of that, like I got pushed in the algorithm a little bit more. There was like a period of time where like a lot of my videos were doing really well.
Okay.
But most of the ones that were like community, like where I've gotten community members, are from ones where, like one of my great streaming friends, Mucifer, he found one of my TikToks that came up like that was one of those audios like, if this is on your For You page,
Okay.
you
Yeah.
may like, and like I kind of just put all the stuff that I liked and then sent it out into the world and was like, well, if you like this
Yeah.
stuff, then you'll like me and you'll
Right.
follow me. And those are where I've gotten more people like who actually come and check out streams, is because they'll reply. They're like, "Oh, I like this, this, and this." I'm like, "Oh, well, that's super cool." Like,
Nice.
and then it branches off from there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But everything else like kind of pillows between those that like kind of like call to action, like, "Here, follow me," and. you'll like
Right.
my stuff, and then everything else kind of pillows between that.
Yeah, because there's been kind of a debate on virality and if viral videos are actually beneficial or potentially, hurtful, so to speak, to
Hmm.
your TikTok page, let's say, because I mean, you can't really go viral on Twitch unless a big streamer raises you or something like that, right? I don't even know if that's still considered viral, but a TikTok blowing up, getting 300,000, 100,000 views or a million views, let's say. I mean, if an account isn't like ready to absorb and take all that in, right, and like send it somewhere, like it might not be the best thing for your account to be viral, right? Like
Yeah.
I even saw a video. The guy was showing, I don't know if you saw this on your For You page this weekend, but he was like doing his eyebrows with threading, and like the reply was like, "Oh, are you using dental floss to like pluck your eyebrows?" And then he was
Yeah.
showing like a technique called threading, which like you use, like, I don't even know if it's dental floss or just string, but
Yeah. Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
use this string to like do his eyebrows, right? And then he goes, and it got millions of views, right? But at the very, very end of the video, he's like, "Guys, do not follow me for beauty tips because I do not make beauty tips. Like, you're not gonna see any of this stuff ever again on my channel," right? And I'm like, that's like a good idea, because what were the odds that video went viral, right? But just to say, like, it's a great example, because a lot of people want to go viral, but then their account may not be like ready for that type of thing, right? Like you said, if I just film my
Yeah.
neighbor like falling over or something like that, it's like the rest of my content is like, "Hey, I'm a Twitch streamer." It's like it doesn't really go, it doesn't really mesh, right? So it kind of has to be ready for it, and that's why I was curious about your videos that you said that hit 300,000, because it seems like your other videos that are more about you and about who you are, and that show off your personality and the things that you like, that's what really brings community members, right? Versus a viral video that is just for fun and for silly.
Yeah, I mean, like, you get a lot of comments on videos that like go a little viral, but I find the ones that like either like get the community members or get the follow and get people like to actually come to the streams are the ones that they hit their For You page randomly and they see that there's not a lot of likes or comments so that they can leave one,
Right.
or they're ones that are kind of like in my niche areas of where like this is something I like, and then other people are like, "Oh, well, I like that too."
Yeah.
Rather than like, "Oh, like here's a clip from my stream." My stream clips never do like too well, but again, they're just like padding like, "Oh, by the way, also like,"
Right.
at
Yeah.
least for
Yeah.
me, I'm like, "I also stream on Twitch."
So if you had to give like a tip to someone that was, streaming, trying to grow, looking to grow their stuff, and posting to TikTok, would you recommend more of this type of content? Like, "Hey guys, this is who I am," versus like posting clips of like moments, like funny moments of their streams of like,
I
let's say,
think it
gameplay?
Yeah, I think it depends. I think my clips are never like edited, but I think you'll see like, if someone has really good editing skills, like those go a long way. So I think it's like whatever like, you have to play to your strength is going to be where you go. Like for me, like my strength is not in editing. I can't edit to save my life. I can put a video in the DaVinci and I can like take parts out and be like, all right, that works. But
Nice.
I think a lot more of it is like, I think being yourself and being a presence rather than just like being only like making trying to chase those viral videos, and having
Yeah.
like an actual presence in your content is like the most important thing to be able to
Yeah.
make those connections and have that translate over,
For
especially on
sure.
TikTok. I mean, if you have 1,000 followers, you can go live on TikTok, so then
True.
like you really just have to make a couple of connections and then it kind of goes from there.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, for sure. I think that, for the most part, unless you have something really, really, really unique, you can do, I don't know, special voices, or
Hmm.
you're a super artistic, and you have great, like a great talent, or you're really, really like funny. I think some really like outside 1%, type of talent, then that can do well on its own, like repetitively, right? Like if every single time that you're streaming, it's just constant laughter, right? Then you can take clips of that and probably do well on TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not everybody's in the 1%, because then it wouldn't be the 1% anymore, right?
Exactly.
But, I think that's exactly what, I agree with you there, right? Like you just gotta be you and not try to chase that, like those viral clips, because it doesn't always come around that often either, right? Like if you're relying on something in Valorant to go, or whatever game you're playing, an online game, Call of Duty or whatever it is, to kind of go crazy, then you got to kind of be streaming often and a lot to really find those moments to be posting clips, which is not sustainable long term, right?
Yeah. I think it's also like you have to learn what content does well, but also learn how the apps themselves work, because it isn't just, like, oh, well, you can kind of post anything, and like there is a formula to it. Like there are ones where you can kind of just post whatever and it's either gonna like go viral or it won't. But there's also like a small strategy to getting, just a regular amount of views, like into like 1 to 2,000 views. That's like, I think most people's ideals. Like that's a good video, because that's a lot of views to get on just any random video.
For sure.
You kind of also have to learn that like algorithm portion as well, like when to post, if you post it too long, if something's too short, where do you cut it, where do you trim dead air. There's also a learning curve that I think people can get discouraged on TikTok, but I had to learn it like through a lot of research of on Reddit and other areas of like, this is how like this can work for you, because anyone can make it work, but you have to kind of learn how to play the game with it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because you have to kind of know the audience that's there, right? And also the audience that you want to build, right? Like if you're making really like high energy, crazy content that's very, attention pulling, right? Maybe you're going to get more of the younger generation to be part of your community, right? Whereas if you're talking about like, especially the topic will help things too, right? If you're talking about like cleaning your house, you're probably not going to get like 16-year-old kids, right? Or 18-year-old kids, but you're going to get some, older people that just bought their house, right? So the older generations, for example, right? So it really, the topic depends, but also like your energy, and like you said, but that does go hand in hand with kind of gaining people's attention and getting them to watch the video to even understand and like you, right? Because if they're not watching you, then they can't like you, right? So absolutely, for sure. What's one thing with like streaming that like, or even TikTok, that like you struggle the most with? Like you said, like you can't edit, but obviously your edits, you're fine, you're doing good, right? Your TikTok is doing well, and your streams are doing very well. But what's something that like you find that has been a little bit of a struggle for you with the content creation?
Well, I think we all struggle. I try to, remind myself that this is something I do for fun, and that it is meant to be fun. It shouldn't be something that makes myself feel bad in any way. But I think most people, including myself, struggle like if a video doesn't do well at all, or like isn't up to what you thought it would be, or like there's not as many people in your stream as you thought there might be. And I think it takes a little hit on your like I think like the imposter syndrome hits, but also like just your confidence is like, what am I doing? Like, what is it about me? That's going like, what's happening? Like, what's different? What am I not doing? And I reflect that inward a lot. And I think a lot of people who stream and make content who are doing it, even if it's just for fun, it always takes a hit at you if something isn't going like the right way or how you want it to.
Yeah, for sure. I think that it comes with the territory of being a content creator. Like we are it's not like it is like a piece of work that we're working on, or we're editing like a clip or something, and then we're putting it out there for the world to see. So it's kind of like a piece of work, but it's also ourself. Like we are the content, the streamer or the content creator is the content. So when it's not doing well, it's like, it's me. It's like, it's very personal, right? And so I think it's a very hard thing for people to kind of separate and be like, whoa, it isn't really me, it's something with the content that I gotta switch up, or like you said earlier, learning the algorithm, learning when to cut dead air and things like that, right?
Yeah, and then understanding too, like especially like with streaming, it's at a certain time, like it's live. Not everybody, in the world can be there all at once, like for whatever reason.
Yeah,
And so I think like you also have to remind yourself of like everything that can go into it. Like it can't all just be you, but there are things that it's like you can change things as well
yeah,
if you
for sure.
don't like something or aren't feeling it. And I find that's also like a difficult thing to deal with is when you're like, am I actually like, is this something I want to do? Like, is this like what game I'm going to play? What am I going to do on stream? Is this actually something I want to do? Because then that like affects your content as well, and what you're doing is your
Yeah.
general mood.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we should always be in a good mood. And like you said earlier, like if you're not having fun with it anymore, like gonna stop, you're gonna just stop streaming, right? And I think that is kind of like a good way to think of it is you got to be in a good mood. You got to be doing things that you want to be doing, if you see a specific game is gonna do well for you for whatever reason, but you're not enjoying it, maybe it's not the play, right? Because at the end of the day, people are gonna come into your stream expecting a type of stream, and then they're not getting it because you're not really in a good mood, right?
Yeah, exactly. If your heart's not into it, then it's even harder. It's hard on you and it's hard on other people because you can tell. Like, I mean, I've been there watching
Yeah.
streams where I'm like, they are not enjoying any of this. And it's
Oh
so
boy, yeah.
uncomfortable for everybody. And I just feel
Yeah.
bad. I'm like, no, like, if you don't like it, turn it off. Like,
Yeah.
shut the computer down.
Yeah, exactly. Just call it, because yeah, it's true. Like, we're out here to have fun, and I mean, streamers, it's kind of, it's you're a host, right? You're hosting a vibe, right? You're hosting an environment. You're an entertainer. Like, it doesn't have to mean you're an entertainer. It means you're like a comedian and on a what's it called, like on Broadway or something like that, right? But you're still someone that is providing entertainment, and that could be the chill vibes, the cozy vibes, the funny vibes, or whatever it is, right? And if you're not able to do that because you're not even having fun, it's like, switch it up, or turn it
Yeah,
down,
you're
turn
selling
it
the
on.
experience of like what's happening
Yeah,
because if you have to get there when it's going, it's not the same if you're like rewatching it later.
yeah,
So like
no,
it
yeah.
really has to fit like the feel of how like you would want it run or how what you would want to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I always say, like, we should be watching back our VODs, right? Like, not big, but successful content creators are watching back their content continuously to make sure that it's still good and that there's no issues and that the vibe is there and it's something that they would watch, right? And it's something I personally do. I don't know if it's something that you do
Mm.
often, but, it's something that everyone should be doing to just check in and say, hey, is this content like, if I don't even want to watch my own content, why would I expect anyone else, right? Type of
Yeah,
thing. So
exactly.
you gotta see what it's like. But yeah, and there's one thing I wanted to say is that I can't remember who said it. I think it might have been Casey Neistat, since we brought him up earlier. I think it was him. But he said, when you have, oh, it might have been Gary V. I think it was Gary V. They're the same to me. But Gary Vee said, when you have the highs, because he's super into content creation. If you guys don't know, I mean, he's all over the place, right? And yeah, he runs his businesses and all that stuff. But he's very heavy into content creation. His first thing that he ever did was he was making wine, because his dad owned like a wine business, and then he would do wine reviews on YouTube. And they were like these horrible videos, like horrible quality, like no lighting and all that stuff, and it was ugly, right? But he was just making content. So he says, like, when things are doing really, really well, like, you can't set that as your new baseline, right? Like, at the highs of the highs and at the lows of the lows, you just kind of gotta ignore it, right? So like, when you get a raid and there's like a bunch of people coming into your stream and all these new followers come in, it's like, yeah, ride that high, but don't live at that high, after that, because that's not your new normal, right?
Mhm.
And when it's a super low stream, like you said earlier, like maybe the views aren't there that day or the video didn't do that well, it's like, don't take it to heart, because it's not the normal, right? Don't let it like sit with you forever, right? So don't ride those highs and don't ride those lows. Just continue going and continue doing what's true to you. So I don't know if that helps people out there listening, but I think it kind of ties in a little bit.
Definitely. I
Yeah.
agree.
And like speaking of these like kind of like mistakes and stuff, I mean, is there other types of mistakes that you see some other streamers making that that you can like give some tips to and talk to? Like, this is something that you constantly see that kind of bugs you.
Uh, I think one thing, like definitely, especially me as like someone who does lurk and a lot, like I primarily lurk. Like if I'm not chatting, it doesn't mean I'm not there. I like to say I'm like I got my eyes everywhere. But I think one thing is like it's talked about a lot where it's like I don't mind when people go silent. You know, I don't mind when there's a lull like in whatever's happening, especially if like. But it depends on what you're doing. Like if you're playing, you know, a certain type of game that's like a story game where there's dialogue, you know, that makes a little bit more sense to like be quiet. But I can notice if someone starts chatting, people perk up and then they start performing a little bit more rather than
Right.
just kind of keeping that natural presence the entire time. If someone does, you know, if someone like is in chat, not the
Yeah.
perk up, the like immediate change in like the vibe, because then like the vibe before um you know, it just feels like you weren't interested
Yeah.
until like someone said something. When
Yeah,
it's like, you know, like
exactly.
we're here, we're like chilling in the background. Like I also like when you get excited that I'm here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's true. Like, especially with newer streamers, and that's something that I've talked about in the past too. Is like, you're just starting out, it's your first stream type of thing. You know, your first couple streams, and you have 0 viewers. It's and you're watching the view count, waiting for that view count to go up, and it goes from 0 to 1, and then you're like, oh, okay, yeah, hey guys, this is what we're doing. It's like, it doesn't really work, right? Exactly like you're
Yeah.
saying. Yeah, you got to kind of keep that vibe going the whole time, as if there's 100 lurkers, right?
I think that that's the thing, like with my stream. My streams are very my chat's very mellow. Like it's not very it depends like when I start stream, you know, and it's more talkative, but as we get into it, it definitely dies down in a vibe. And I think like that's where I've gotten that, you know, mentality that's like just because no one's saying anything doesn't mean that there isn't a presence. And so like
Yeah.
you have to keep your presence there because it is like you said, it's kind of like you know, it's almost like you're selling a TV show where it's like this is like you're selling an experience.
Yeah.
So if the experience isn't complete from start to finish, then like it just feels weird for people who may be there the entire time or come in those like weird lulls.
Yeah, it's true. And I noticed because I've been playing a lot of Pokemon, and everybody's, and you too, you've been playing some Pokemon,
Hmm.
and everybody's been playing Pokemon, even not just the streamers, but everybody, right? So a lot of people come in and they're like, oh, I'm playing Pokemon too. So they're kind of like invested in their game, and I'm here, and the streamers are here to kind of provide a vibe and an experience, like you said. And so we're just kind of all playing together. So you can't expect them
Hmm.
to be typing in chat when they want to be playing along with you, kind of, right? So that
Yeah.
happens a lot too. There's a lot of lurkers that are just gaming and they want to have something up. So if you go quiet because nobody's chatting, well, you're not providing that experience for them to lurk to, right? Absolutely.
Exactly. Because I
Yeah.
mean, I do that. Like, I'll be playing whatever game, and if I'm not, you know, paying attention too hard, I'll have Twitch up and I'll be watching streams
Yeah.
while it's happening. And I think that's where you also see, I mean, not everybody can be someone with 1,000 viewers going at a time, but that's something you will see with those streamers is that once you start consistently from start to finish, it's consistent the entire way through. And I think that's something that everyone can adopt into how they do things is like keeping that consistency so
Yeah.
that at any point if someone was in there then they know exactly what they're getting into and like what's happening.
True. Yeah, that consistency, and not just throughout the entire stream, but from stream to stream as well. Like, yes, I do want to say that we are human, right? And we're gonna have good days, bad days, and whatever it is, right? And I think that's completely normal, and I think that's a good thing, right? Like, we're not robots, right? And we might have had a bad day at work or in life or IRL, whatever it is, right? I think that's normal, but that kind of vibe, that experience that you're providing, for it to be as consistent as you can possibly make it, right? And I think that goes a long way, right? For viewers to
Yeah.
come back, right? Because if they see something one time and they like that experience, then they come back another time and it's completely different because maybe you have less viewers or no viewers or more viewers or whatever it is. Then it's like, that doesn't mesh anymore with what they originally wanted, right? So
Yeah, I think a good example of that is Sweet Tails, who, you know, she really made her entire like journey on Twitch, like becoming a partner and growing the way she did through TikTok.
Right.
And if you go to her stream every time, you know exactly what you're getting into. You know how she's gonna talk. You know what's going on. You know that it's gonna be like that experience. Like there's not gonna be a Sweet Tail stream you go into and she's playing like lo-fi music with like her hoodie up and like not talking at all and like playing Stardew Valley. It would throw everyone off. Everyone would be really freaked out.
She should do it. It would be funny.
That would be fun. I honestly would watch. I'd love to watch her play Stardew Valley.
It would be good, a Halloween costume or something, you know, Halloween stream. Freak everybody out. What the heck's going on with Tails? Yeah, it's a good point. I think that's a good tip that some streamers could take for themselves and apply to their own streams. How are we doing on time? We have a few. You're okay?
Yeah, I'm all good on time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Because I wanted to ask you, what would be something that, because you're coming up on 1 year, right? Or you're over 1 year.
I just had my 1 year. Yeah.
1 year, right?
Over a year.
So what's one thing that you would do differently? If you could start like your streams all over again and your whole brand, your whole presence, your whole all of your content.
I think I would have really narrowed down, kind of like I have now, like these are dedicated times and days I'm doing things, because I think at the beginning, I really was all over the place. Like I took variety to like the very variety, like peak, where every time I was doing something different because I, depended on my mood a lot. But now I have, structure and schedule. People know, and I send out a schedule every week of what I plan to do, when I plan to do it. And so it's like, okay, well, exactly like what is happening. And I think I would have kept that consistent, as well as being really heavy in Discord at the beginning, because I have a Discord server and it's active, but I think it would be more active if I had understood how to use it when I had started it. And had people join, because I didn't know anything about Discord. I was on it, like to talk to some friends, but I didn't wasn't in any servers or anything like that. And so I think I would really focus on making Discord like a really poppin' place, because that's where you also, can build a lot of community. People get to know each other, and you go into I have some friends, you go into their chat and everybody in chat knows each other because they also see each other in Discord. Right. So narrowing down what I want to do, having a proper schedule, and then also making sure my Discord was kept up. I think those are kind of, Discord's very slept on as a tool. In streaming.
So. Yeah, absolutely. But it's crazy how much you need to learn to become a streamer, and for it to kind of be successful, and all the different pieces of it that you need to do, right? Like you need to have a Twitter account, and you need to have a Discord, right? And you don't need to have a YouTube, right? But nowadays you need to have a TikTok or a YouTube so you could be posting shorts, right? It's like there's so many things you got to do, and then the editing and learning the softwares and stuff. It's a lot, So yeah, not knowing Discord at the beginning, it's like, who isn't in that same boat, right? So was I, right? So
I just kind of made the server. I was like, okay, I have one. That's what you're supposed to do, right? And then I didn't know what to do with it at all.
Well, now I'm in your server, and it's popping. So you're doing.
We have some fun there, you know.
You're doing a great job. You're doing a really good job. I have a couple more questions, but what I do want to do is open up Q&A in the chat. So anyone that's here in the chat, we're welcoming you to go ahead and type any questions you may have for myself or for Sim, and we'll get to them. But I do have a few last questions to ask you while people are typing away. Where did the name Cyndaquil come from? Obviously, Cyndaquil, the Pokemon.
Yes, right? It was actually my old Tumblr URL that luckily is wiped off the face of the earth. I wiped it off the face of the earth once I started streaming.
Tumblr's making a comeback now.
I know, now I'm upset because I was like, no, if I had known Tumblr was gonna make a comeback, I would have deleted it. It would have been hilarious, because I have so much it was embarrassing stuff, because I had a Tumblr account, I think, for 10 years before I deleted it.
Oh my God.
I was one of the OGs on Tumblr, and now I'm mad that it's coming back. But Uh,
So yeah, so it comes from Cyndaquil, but how come?
yeah.
Where does it come from?
Well,
Like
so my
what's
name, full name is very doxable because thanks, mom. I have one of those names.
okay?
But
Gotcha,
my
gotcha.
name is my nickname is Sim and like
Okay,
Simba. Like those were my nicknames growing up because it's
okay.
derived off my name. And so I kind of just was thinking of URLs when I was in high school. I'm like, what
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
like really funny? Like, what would be a good URL? And I was like, oh, Simba Quill would be so good. And that's why it has the underscore because of like the Tumblr, like how you'd write it out.
Yeah, yeah.
But I made it up in high school for like my Tumblr blog, and then when I
Cool.
was trying to think of names for Twitch, Sim was taken and Simba was taken. So I
Sure,
was
I'm
like, well, if
sure.
I can't be just Sim, then Simba Cool is fun. That's funny. I was like, I can play Pokemon, and people will
Yeah,
get
yeah.
it.
I love that. I love that. So yeah, then it makes it so easy. You got the Cyndaquil emotes and all that stuff. So it kind of all
Yeah,
bands
it kind of
together,
we made it into a little brand.
Yeah,
We
I
have
love
Quill
that.
Town.
How important do you think that like the username is? I mean, spoiler, I'll say that I think username is quite important, for content creation in general, but I wanna hear for you, like how has your username affected your experience as a creator?
Yeah, I get a lot of compliments on my username. It's really easy. Like people call me Simba. That's my name. It's already kind of like there.
Yeah.
It's the Cyndaquil reference. Like people know I like Pokemon. I think it's really important when picking a username that it doesn't have to be anything special, but it has to be something that like people can recognize when they
Mhm.
see it, and they can remember easily. So like something like XXX underscore
Yeah, yeah.
Titan, like with all the like letters as numbers. That's not who's gonna remember how to type that in.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
so I think you have to be
exactly.
like a little bit strategic when you pick a username, especially if you want to like grow a following. It has to be something recognizable, but also like fits your vibe.
Yeah. And also something rememberable, memorable. That's the word.
Yes.
Has to be memorable, right? Because if they see you on YouTube or in somebody else's stream, right, or on TikTok, it's like, oh, what was that person's name? Oh, I gotta go type XX underscore this, all these numbers. It's like, no, I could just type Simba Quill, boom, I'm in.
Like, yeah, I'm right there. You find me every time.
That's it. That's it. So I think it's important for usernames and for people just starting out, or even if not, maybe change your username, right? If it's not working for you. But I think it's important.
Yeah, I mean I find yours is really nice. Like it's like easily rememberable. I remember when you like started making TikTok videos because you popped into Twitch Talk a lot. And so I remember seeing them, and I mean like the Peach
Cool.
TV it's easy to remember, it's quick. It had to like, you have the cute little peach theme. I'm like, oh my okay, you remember, it's easy. Like
Yeah,
it all
yeah.
comes together
Oh, cool. Thank you.
in my head.
Well, I grew up with, I mean, it was kind of like a nickname for me my whole life. So everybody just calls me the Peach or Peach or Peachy. So it's just like, all right, let's just go with it. And
I
I
find that's
couldn't,
like the best kind of username to pick is something that like you'll recognize like when
yeah,
someone calls you that because like that's if you want to be do you want to be referred by like whatever weird you
yeah.
picked up as.
Yeah, exactly. I think that there's two things. Like either you go with your own type of nickname, your own name type of thing, a spin-off of it,
Mhm.
or now this is your opportunity to become whoever you want. Like
Like an
if you want,
alias, you can
yeah,
be like
like
have it like there's farting glitter is really popular in Valorant on
right, yeah,
TikToks. Like
like
what kind of username
yeah,
but it's
that's
recognizable
true,
and
very recognizable and funny and
everyone knows
silly.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right? Or you can become like Shadow Demon or something, right? Like whatever
Something really
username you want.
cool.
And then now you choose what people call you, right? You could be called Shadow, you could be called, whatever it is, right? That's your moment to just kind of remake yourself, create your own persona, right? And I think it's important too because that if you're going that route, choose something that is relevant to the type of content that you're making, right? Like example, if you play a lot of shooting games and you're gonna go by like a name like Gunslinger or something like that, right? Or Cowboy or whatever it is, like at least that kind of makes sense that you like do shooting games or something along those lines, right? But
Mm-hmm.
if you're like hockey fan 99 and then you're you know
Playing Black Ops.
yeah, like it doesn't really make sense, right? So that's your chance to like be smart about it, right? Because
Yeah,
it's also
exactly.
it's also an identifier, right? Like Cymbiquil, I'm gonna guess that you've at least played Pokemon on stream, right? So
Yeah, like
that makes
and that's
sense.
like, it's a forefront of like my what videos I make and what I talk about, and like it just fits like it meets the expectation of like
Yeah,
what you think you're gonna get out of it.
exactly. Cool. So and before we get to Q&A, I did want to mention I see some great questions in chat. So thank you all to who's posting some questions. We'll get to them now. But I did want to say, because I wanted to ask you, you changed your schedule this week. And I think it's important to
Good.
talk about, if we could briefly touch on it.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about that story.
Yeah, so I work worked. I quit my job today. I worked a
Nice,
full-time
congrats.
job this past year. I mean, good money, work from home kind of job, but
Sure.
it just wasn't a good fit for me. So like while also like, doing something else that's a hobby and like streaming and content creation, I was also juggling this job that just wasn't really fitting me and it wasn't making me happy. So I quit today. I didn't give a
Yeah.
notice. I was just like, bye.
Well,
See you
good for you.
later. Uh, and it's like scary to take like a leap like that because I mean I don't have a job like technically like already set to go,
Sure.
but it's giving more time to stream and like work on some of my hobbies in the meantime, which is really fun
Absolutely.
and exciting. So I get to mess around with like my schedule and streaming during the day and like seeing how that goes
Yeah,
and
nice.
adding more time. Yeah.
Absolutely, very cool. What are some of the hobbies that you're gonna be doing now that you have a bit more time?
Well, I mean, I love to do puzzles.
Yeah,
And yeah, I love puzzles.
I
I have
love
one
it.
rolled up, but it's just it's a quiet activity. I like a good quiet activity. And
Yeah,
then
it's very
painting.
meditation.
I'm not a good painter, but I like to paint. It's a lot of
Nice.
fun.
Yeah,
And it's the
very
snow season
meditative.
now.
It's the what season?
So it's a snow season.
Snow
So I'm
season.
going to be going snowboarding over the
Oh,
weekends
nice.
as well. So
Nice.
just getting to have some fun,
Yeah, absolutely.
and make more videos and like try new things.
Cool.
It's really
Yeah,
exciting.
absolutely. It is exciting. And you know what? I think that I think maybe our generation and older has been kind of like feared into this like what do you mean you're not working? Like you quit your job without having something else lined up? Are you crazy? Like that's been
Mhm.
like drilled into us, but I don't think it's really the case anymore, Like so what if you take a couple weeks off, a couple months off, or a year off, or whatever it is, right? If you're not, digging yourself into crazy amounts of debt, and you're doing okay, like that's what savings are for, man. Like we work hard, we save a bit of money, and then you go from there, right?
Yeah, what's the
So
point of saving my money if I can't, if
yeah,
I'm really, if something's not serving me, like I'm not being served and I'm not being fulfilled and I'm not happy,
absolutely,
why continue doing something that doesn't bring me any joy,
100%.
when I have the opportunity to change that? Because,
Yeah.
we can make our own choices. We have free will. We can do
Yes.
what we want. There's
Good
no
for
rule
you.
book.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. Good for you. I'm happy for you. I'm
Yeah,
wishing you lots
it's
of
scary, but it's
yeah,
nice. I'm happy
for
with
sure.
my
But
choice.
it's not the end. It's not the end, It doesn't mean that in a couple of weeks or months you can't just say, okay, I'm going to find a job. Like it's not that it's not you
Yeah.
didn't retire. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
it's not like I'm never gonna work again. Like
Yeah,
I've got to get back
exactly.
to work, but it's nice to
Yeah.
take a break.
Cool. So we could check out your streams. You said more daytime streams, and you're in California.
Yes. So
So
for East Coast, it's usually probably early afternoon. California, like later afternoon. Time zones. It kind of depends on the day, but I mean, obviously, East Coast is gonna get them later than
yeah,
the West
for sure.
Coast.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. So expect to see that, and like you said, getting some more videos going. You'll be posting those on YouTube. You're gonna do some YouTube
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I'm hoping to edit some of my like I played the Telltale Walking Dead games. I'm hoping to edit those into like smaller chunks because that was really fun
Nice.
to play through, and then maybe like while I have free time playing some other stuff and just recording them solely for YouTube.
Cool.
Just get some practice in.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Cool, awesome. All right, guys. Well, you heard it here first. Go and check out SimpleQuill, YouTube and Twitch, and you guys can find the links here if you're in chat. I'm sure the mods will help out with some links. And if you're watching this on YouTube, then the links are down below. Very cool. Let's get some questions. I'm excited. I see a bunch of awesome questions. All right, I see Meow Girl Steph. Hello. What tips do you have for starting a Discord for streamers who don't have one yet?
I think my biggest tip is kind of join a couple of really popular servers. Ones that have like a couple thousand people in them, just to see how they're run and operated and take inspiration from, I mean, it doesn't even have to be a huge Discord, but see what other people are doing, what kind of categories they have, what people like to type. Just so you can, kind of model, like if someone has a successful Discord, there's a reason.
Right.
And it's because, either it's aesthetically easy to use, like they have all the categories people want. And then make sure you're active in your Discord. Like if you have a Discord server, you have to be the one who's like starting in conversations and like posting regularly as well. It can't just be all on the expectation of others. So I think those are like the biggest like things. If you're starting a Discord, is like you really have to put time into it to make it look nice and have interesting discussions with people.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And guys, don't forget that when you're, providing your Discord server, so are every other streamer, right? So there's a bunch of servers that people are a part of, right? And so not only now are like Discord is a social media platform in and of itself, right? So you got the YouTube, you got TikTok, you got Twitch, Instagram, and now there's like the Discord too, right? So it's time that people have to dedicate to go into these different servers and chat, right? So exactly like you said, Sim, you gotta, as a streamer, you gotta be in there and saying, hey guys, how's everybody doing, or what's up, or just start engaging in conversation, right? For sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I find that if someone joins your Discord, more than likely they joined because they also thought that they could talk to you. So if you're not there and not available ever, then they're like, okay, well, I guess I'm gone.
Yeah.
Like, why would I hang around if I don't feel like I'm gonna like get anything out of it or get any conversation or no one's actually talking?
True, absolutely. It's a great place for people to talk off stream, and I suggest that streamers should make it as of day one and start building it out, right? And as you meet people and followers, just say, hey, come over to Discord and we can chat offline, right? Thanks for the question, Steph. We also have a similar question from Nonsense Sock saying, what are some things you've done with your Discord to build community? Is there anything unique or special that you do in your streams, in your Discord?
I think it depends. Like, if we do community streams, like if we have Mario Kart or Jackbox, we've had Jackbox nights where we just we have a Jackbox role, so we ping. So that's where also like setting up your Discord and making sure like people can select roles. Like if someone wants to play Valorant and like I'm looking, like, oh, we need a squad here,
Yeah.
Being able to build community by asking people to play and then also setting up those community games. And hopefully I want to start in December, and now I have the time to we want to start watching Avatar: The Last Airbender in Discord and having Avatar nights, which I think that's like a fun way to build community as well, getting people, even if you like have everyone muted, like you can have a text chat and everyone is just watching and enjoying and talking about something together.
For sure.
So finding like things people like to do and just inviting people to come join in together and have fun.
Yeah, something a little bit special, something a little bit more more special than the Twitch streams, something a bit more unique and different that you could do. Cool, I love that. I'll be there for Avatar nights for sure.
It's gonna be fun. I'm excited. It's so good.
Cool. Yeah, it is. What else? I got a question here from a Cool Panda asking, simple question, but what are your top 3 favorite games? Good question.
Okay, I saw this and I've been thinking about it, so I had my answer ready.
Nice.
The original Kingdom Hearts game, the Animal Crossing GameCube game. So specifically the GameCube one. That one is my favorite. And
Okay.
I think it's kind of like Pokemon Emerald is like probably the real answer, but I also love Resident Evil 4. That's also one of my favorite games of all time.
Oh,
But I think
nice.
Pokemon Emerald edges it out just a little bit. But Resident Evil's up there too.
Oh man, I played Resident Evil. I don't even know. It might have even been Resident Evil 1 on PlayStation 1, and I was like this little kid freaked out of my mind. I don't know how old I was, maybe 8 years
Oh my
old.
god,
And
no. He's traumatized.
I'm like, Dad, like thanks for renting this game for me at Blockbuster, but dude, do not get me this shit ever again. They're way too scary. Holy. Have you played any of the new Resident Evils?
I haven't played any of the new ones. The new ones are a little too scary for me. Once it
Yeah.
hit like Resident Evil like 6 and 7, like they like turned into full-blown horror games. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Where's my silly, like, you can like roundhouse kick somebody? Like, where's my silly little Resident Evil game gone to?
Yeah.
So
Oh
I haven't played any
man.
of the recent ones. I might, but I'm so bad with scary games. I get so squeamish. I'm such a baby. So
Yeah.
it would take the life out of me.
Me too, honestly. Like, I think in the moment, you know, like a scary movie, if it's on, like I'm into it and I want to know what's going on, I'll watch it. But then after, I so regret it because then I can't sleep for days and I'm just, you know, freaking out. I'm freaking out. So
I'm the person who has to look up like the jumpscare.com website. I look up to see like how many jump scares are in a movie. Like I
what?
watched it for the first time finally after how many years has it been out since like 2017?
I
I
have
like
no
finally
idea.
watched it for the first time and I like was like sitting there and everyone said it's not scary and I'm sitting there the whole time just like waiting for something that like
Oh
I'm the
man.
worst with them.
I had no idea that that was like a website. If ever I get sucked into that, I'll check it out for sure.
Yeah. It's a great website.
Cool, good to know. Um, Thanks for the question, guys. Nonsense Socks is asking, when implementing new things into your content creation or stream, what is your go-to resource? That's a good question.
That is, I think most of mine, I mean, for me, honestly, I get a lot of advice off of Reddit. It may not be specifically about Twitch stuff, but if I'm like looking into something that has to do with like a game I'm playing or something that I'm interested in, I usually go on Reddit because I usually find the answer. I don't know. People on Reddit seem to know what they're talking about
Yeah.
more often than not.
Yeah, it's true.
So
Yeah, I'm
I
always
usually go to Reddit
Googling.
just to get all my advice.
Yeah, I usually Google like my question and then I'll put Reddit at the end
Reddit
and then I always get an answer, you know? And I
every
trust
single
that.
time.
Yeah, I trust it. I trust a random guy, a random person on Reddit more than I would trust like an article written, you know? It just,
Trust
I don't
Reddit
know.
sometimes more than the doctor. Like I'm like, oh, this hurts. Like Reddit. Like anybody else ever felt this pain? And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, well here's like a list of things that
Hey,
I might be.
hey doctor, I read this on Reddit, okay? It's right.
I know I'm the worst patient when it comes to that. I'm like, well, I saw it on the internet, so it
Yeah.
has to be true.
Yeah, my doctor says the same thing. You can't Google things and then come to me. I'm like, yeah, but you know, it takes forever to get an appointment with you, so I need answers now, man. You're not open in the middle of the
Like
night
I
when I'm
realize I don't
freaking.
have liver cancer, but like you can't blame me for freaking
Oh
out a
my
little
god.
bit
When you Google medical advice, it always leads to cancer, you know. You're
every
always
time. Oh, I get freaked.
God. Oh boy. Yeah, Reddit is definitely a good resource. I mean, I think it depends what you're implementing as well, right? Like
Hmm.
if it's like a new software, like something like OBS, or you're looking for a tutorial on how to set up something specific onto your stream. Usually
Yeah.
YouTube can have, you know, the in-depth guides, right? And visually they can show you what to click on and where to go, right? So
Yeah, YouTube is like obviously I think the second one because I mean people literally show you how to do everything for free on YouTube as long
yeah.
like and all they ask for is for you to subscribe and I'm like I can do that. Like
Yeah, exactly. Or watch
thanks.
10 seconds of ads and that's it, you know? So
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Um, Crandon asks, unrelated streaming question for DapeachTV, is that a 10-inch Charizard Funko in the background? Yeah, it is. It is huge. That big boy right there. He's huge. I was looking for the
He is
Bulbasaur
huge.
too, but I couldn't find him. You want to see?
Oh.
Here, I'll go get him.
Oh, I love it.
He is huge.
Oh my god, he's huge.
He's just cool, man.
He's huge.
He's badass. We take care of him here.
I'm gonna say, I'm like, oh my god, that's so much bigger than it looks. Like as soon as it gets right up close,
Yeah,
like
I
oh
mean,
my
you should see the
god.
Pikachu. It's even bigger. Like it's
I
sitting
know.
in
Oh,
the
poor
seat.
Pika. Oh, it's so cute. He's got his
Yeah.
own little chair. He's just a little guy.
Yeah, he's my. You know, when there's 0 viewers in the stream, it's like, no, I always got Pikachu. He's sitting there. He's always watching. You know.
I have a baby like Yoda, Grogu, like stuffed animal back there that I like also have. I'm like, that's my guy. Like he's if I got no one, he's right there.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. I love that. So I hope that answers your question, Crandon. If you guys have 10-inch Funko Pops or whatever, I don't even know if it's 10-inch. It looks is way bigger, but hook me up. Hook me up. I'm looking for Bulbasaur. Looking for all of them, all the guys. PT Blue asks, how'd you come up with your username? We did talk about that earlier. I don't know if you want to cover that again. And then, is Lion King your favorite movie to go? To go with that.
Lion King is definitely not my favorite Disney movie. I do like it though. I mean, I was called Simba as a kid, and like I was a Nala for 1 year for Halloween, I think, which is just funny because yeah, you didn't think I'd be Simba, but I was the boy lion, so I had to be the girl lion, of course.
Yeah.
But it's my it's like a mashup of like my first name and then like fit in the Simba Quill, Cyndaquil.
Pokemon. More Pokemon than Lion King.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's see if there's any other questions in chat. I think there's one that we're trying to break down here. I have a question for the gentleman on the left. Okay, that's me. If he wasn't this streamer, wait, I don't think I'm understanding the question. I think we're getting a rewrite. Well, thank you very much for your question, though. And once it gets rewritten, we'll definitely answer it. Yeah. Is there any other questions? Is there anything I missed? You guys have any other questions for me or for Simba Quill? Now is your last and only chance until when's your next stream, Sim?
Tomorrow.
Until
1 p.m.
tomorrow. Okay,
yes,
so until tomorrow, you can't ask me or Sim anything until tomorrow. What kind of blanket should the Peach get? Yes, the blanket expert over here in California.
Okay, honestly, I will be real. You cannot go wrong with an UGG blanket. They are expensive.
Wait,
but,
they make blankets?
They do. They make bedding set. You can go to Bed Bath & Beyond. They have bedding sets. I have to go get it dry cleaned because I'm not risking ruining it in the washer and dryer. But they make the softest blankets and they last so long and they're so warm. But other than that, heated blanket, if you want a heated blanket is really worth it. They're so warm and you can turn them like on and off and like turn the heat up and down and like heated blanket. 10
that
out
is
of 10.
A very good point. That is a good
investment.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to heat it up, you know what I mean? You're going already the blanket's supposed to keep you warm and then go heated. What about a cooling blanket? I feel like I need a cooling blanket.
Ooh, okay. So I have these sheets. If you ever buy modal sheets, they're made of bamboo. They're an airier fabric, and so it stays really cool even if it's very hot.
So you got the cooling sheets, and then you put the heating blanket on top, and now you got the
sleep
full...
is very cozy. Like we get the full experience, you know?
I love that. I love that. Very, very cool. Sim, is there anything else that I don't know, did you have any questions for me or for chat or for yourself? Was there something that you wanted to bring up? Was there something that you wanted to kind of share a piece of your story that maybe we didn't cover today?
I don't think so. I think like all I guess I have to say is like if you're someone who has started streaming or you think you might start streaming, that you should just do it and just, you know, take the opportunity to learn. And it's a lot of fun and it's scary, but it's really worth it, especially just for like the people you get to meet out of it. It's one of the best experiences, you know, and like I'm very happy. Like I just decided to try it out.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt to try it, you know? Like there's no cost really involved. Most people have a microphone. You don't really need a camera to start streaming. either, right?
You really
And
don't.
you know, I started streaming on a laptop, and so did so many other people. You could stream straight from your console and just try it out. And yeah, honestly, the meeting the people, I mean, I've made friends, you know, so many friends, and I made friends for sure for life. You know, whether I continue streaming or not, I know that I'm still gonna be gaming with these people and checking in with them and stuff like that. It's just, yeah, I don't know. And I've even met people I'm from Montreal, Canada, but I've met people from Montreal, and I've even run into one, you know, in real life. So it's like you can actually end up making real life friends, you know, not just online friends. But to me, online friends are better than IRL friends. But hey.
I kind of are a little less high maintenance.
Yeah, true.
Always available somehow.
Yeah, that's true. I love that. Absolutely, guys. And if you ever need any help, you can always reach out to me. If you want to get started on your streaming journey, I'd love to help you out and get you started. And you know, for me, my thing is that not everyone might have like the technical expertise to get their stream up and running and started, but you have something inside, you know, you got that passion, you got that something that you want to express or share with the world. And I don't want you guys to be stuck not sharing that beauty inside because of some, you know, technical limitations or whatever it may be. So, you know, I'd be more than happy to help you out with getting started with streaming, so you can share that thing with the world. Cool, Sim. I love that. Absolutely love that. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to seeing this new journey of yours with more full time dedicated to streaming and to yourself. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's nice to talk. I don't really ever get like talk serious. You know, I usually am like just, you know, kind of a silly person the entire time. And I think I mean I'm pretty silly in general, but it's nice to sit down and kind of talk about, you know, a little bit more like in depth. And it's been just nice to have that conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. And maybe one day in the future, we'll bring you back when you're at, when you celebrate 2,000 followers, maybe maybe only in a few months, you know.
When I'm famous, I'm gonna be, exactly, you know, 1,000 viewer Andy, and like I've left the world.
Yeah, and we'll come back to this conversation how we were talking about Sweet Tails, and it'll be now it'll be.
I'll be like, oh yeah, she's my neighbor.
Yeah, exactly.
Or I don't know where she lives. I don't know if she lives anywhere important.
I have no idea, honestly. Cool, Simba. Thank you so much for joining me for this series. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your time again. Guys, if you're not following Simba Quill, please go check out her Twitch stream. She has a TikTok, she has a YouTube that she's going to be posting more to, so subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified when she starts putting out some awesome videos. And what else? Where else can we find you? Is there any other platforms that besides Twitter? I'm sure you're on Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter. Mostly my most active platforms are definitely TikTok and Twitter. I post on Twitter too many times a day. I love Twitter. I've been on it for like 8 years. So
I hope it doesn't go down. Honestly, I don't think it's going down.
I love Twitter. I don't want it to die. I don't want to go to Hive.
Yeah,
I'll be real.
Oh my gosh. Let's not talk about Hive. I tried it, and it's anyways. Maybe one day.
Not even, like that's a whole other discussion.
Absolutely. Cool, Sim. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you this week in your streams.
All right. Thank you. You too.
Right.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.